Welcome back to Live Stoic, where we dive into the hidden forces that shape human behavior. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what it really takes to captivate a woman's attention in a world full of distractions? It's not always about looks, money, or status, even though society loves to tell us that. No, it's deeper than that. It's about how you make her feel. In fact, most men have no clue just how powerful their words can be. They think they can impress a woman with surface-level compliments or grand gestures. But here's the truth. Their right words, spoken at the right time, can leave a lasting impression and set you apart from every other guy she's ever met. But what are those right words? Today, I'm revealing 8 powerful compliments that go beyond the typical shallow flattery. These compliments aren't about pretending to be someone they are not. They're rooted in psychology, connection, and real emotional impact. These aren't the, "Hey, you're beautiful," or "I like your dress" kind of lines. No. This is about tapping into something deeper, something that will make her feel truly seen, respected, and drawn to you. But there's the brutal truth. If all you're doing is throwing out weak, general compliments, you're just another forgettable face in her DMs. But if you can master these 8 compliments, you'll stand out. You'll leave a lasting mark on her mind. So, if you're ready to take your attraction game to the next level and use the power of psychological influence to your advantage, let's dive in. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button if you're ready. To transform how you connect with people using the principles of Stoicism and human psychology. Every video brings you one step closer to mastering the art of attraction and influence. Compliment for only. That fragrance you're wearing is addictive. It smells amazing. Let's start with one of the most underrated yet most powerful compliments you can give. A compliment on her fragrance. Why does this work? Well, scent is one of the most primal yet overlooked triggers in human attraction. Think about it. How many times have you caught a whiff of a certain scent and been instantly transported to a memory, a place, or even a person? That's because scent is directly tied to the brain's limbic system, the part responsible for emotions and memories. When you compliment a woman on her fragrance, you're not just saying you smell good, you're telling her that her scenting is in your mind even after she's gone. That's an intoxicating thought. But here's where most men miss the mark. They throw out generic compliments like, "You look nice," or "That dress is pretty." And while those may seem flattering, they're easily forgettable. On the other hand, when you notice the subtle details like the fragrance she's wearing, you're showing that you're paying attention to what makes her unique. And that's incredibly powerful. Now, this is where Stoicism comes into play. A Stoic man knows the power of self-control. He doesn't speak just for validation. Every word he says is calculated, deliberate, and impactful. So when you say that fragrance you're wearing is addictive, you say it with confidence, quiet, grounded confidence. You don't overdo it. You don't force the compliment. You say it like you mean it. And when you do, watch how her body language shifts. Her eyes will light up. Her smile will change. She'll remember that compliment not just in the moment, but every time she wears the perfume again. That's the power of psychological trick. Compliment number 2. Your smile could brighten up an entire room. Let's dive into another powerful compliment that most men overlook, her smile. But I'm not talking about just any smile. I'm talking about the kind of smile that changes the entire energy of a room. The one that can light up a space without her saying a word. This compliment goes beyond just acknowledging her physical beauty. You're recognizing something far deeper. Her energy? Think about it. There are people you meet who instantly make you feel at ease. They walk into a room and the atmosphere just lightens. You find yourself smiling without even knowing why. That's not just a smile, it's an energy, a vibe that resonates with the Ryan around them. And when you recognize that in a woman, you are telling her that her presence matters. But here's the catch. Most men never notice this. They get caught up in shallow compliments about her physical features. But they miss the deeper layer. Her smile is a reflection of her inner world, her openness, her ability to bring positivity into any space. By telling her your smile could brighten up an entire room, you're acknowledging her power to influence the atmosphere, to make people feel at ease just by being herself. Now, in the world of Stoicism, this is about awareness. Awareness of not only your own energy, but also of the energy others bring into your space. A Stoic man doesn't seek validation. He speaks straightforwardly with intentionality. So when you give this compliment, you're not just admiring her smile, you're recognizing her ability to shift the energy around her, and that's powerful. Compliment. So 3. I love how real you are. You don't try to fit in. You raised you. Let's get real for a moment. In today's world, authenticity is rare. We're constantly bombarded with filtered versions of people on social media, fake personas everywhere, and the pressure to fit in. But when you meet someone who's unapologetically themselves, someone who isn't afraid to be real in a world of masks, that's powerful. When you tell a woman, I love how real you are, you don't try to fit in, you're just you, you're recognizing a strength that most people shy away from, authenticity. It's easy to conform, to put on a mask and be who society wants you to be. But someone who dares to show up as their true self, that's someone who doesn't just stand out, they command respect. In a world full of shallow compliments about looks, when you tell her, I love how real you are, you're doing something rare. You're complimenting who she is on the inside, not just what she looks like on the outside. And let's be honest, realness is intimidating. It's hard to show up as your authentic self when the world is constantly pushing you to be something you're not. But when you notice and appreciate her authenticity, you're telling her that you see her for who she truly is, and that it's differently. This isn't a compliment about her beauty. This is about respect for the person she is beneath all the layers. And this is where Stoicism and authenticity tie together. A Stoic man doesn't bend to societal expectations. He lives in alignment with his true self. No pretensions. And when you compliment a woman for being authentic, you're showing that you admire the strength it takes to be real in a world full of fakes. That's the kind of woman who doesn't just try to impress others, she impresses you with the truth. Compliment number 4. I love the way you see the world. It's so unique and it really makes me think. Now, let's talk about something rare and incredibly powerful. A woman's perspective. In a world full of people who just go through the motions, stuck in their own little bubbles. They're eritos who see beyond the surface, walk challenge the status quo and look at their world through a unique lens. And when you notice that, when you acknowledge how refreshing and thoughtful her perspective is, you've just tapped into something powerful. When you say, I love the way you see the world, it's so unique and it really makes me think. You're telling her that you value her mind, not just her appearance. You are telling her that her thoughts have weight, that the way she interprets their world isn't just interesting, it's something that makes you think deeper. This compliment goes far beyond usual superficial praises. While most men are busy complimenting a woman's body or face, you're focusing on what's inside. Her intellect, her critical thinking, her ability to see things from a different angle. And that's something rare. People don't often appreciate Simone for how they think, but when you do, you're setting yourself apart from the crowd. But here's the truth. Most people are afraid to think for themselves. They surround themselves with like-minded people, opinions and experiences because it's easier. But when you encounter someone who doesn't just float along with the tide, someone who questions the obvious and sees their world from a fresh perspective, you can't help but be drawn to that energy. So, when you tell her, I love the way you see the world, you're not just complimenting her ability to think, you're telling her that her ideas matter. And that's incredibly powerful. And this is where Stoicism comes in. A Stoic man understands the importance of independent thought. He doesn't follow the crowd or just repeat what others say. He sees life clearly and he admires that same clarity in others. So when you notice her unique perspective and compliment her for it, you're aligning yourself with a deeper philosophy, one that values wisdom and thoughtful engagement with the world. Compliment number 5. I love your energy. It's contagious and makes me want to be the best version of myself. Energy is everything. You've been around those people who drain the life out of a room, haven't you? The kind of people who make you feel tired, anxious, or just empty. But then there are others who, when they walk into a room, the energy completely shifts the atmosphere. Suddenly you feel lighter. You feel inspired. You feel like you want to be better, do better, live better. That's the kind of energy you're looking for. And when you recognize it in a woman, you've just tapped into something magnetic. When you tell her, I love your energy, it's contagious and makes me want to be the best version of myself. You're complimenting her vibe, her presence, not just her appearance. You're recognizing that she has the kind of energy that doesn't just fill the room, it commands it. Her presence isn't passive, it's active and it drives you to rise to your own potential. Think about it. When you're around someone who's constantly driven, inspired and positive, it makes you want to level up. You want to be better. You want to take action. And when you recognize that in a woman, you're not just acknowledging her external beauty, you're recognizing her power to influence the people around her in a way that inspires growth. Here's the harsh reality. Most people don't save that energy. They're stuck in mediocrity, stuck in their comfort zones. but someone who has that kind of infectious drive, that spark. They don't just exist, they create. They don't just live in the world, they improve it. When you tell her, "I love your energy," you're recognizing the power that her presence has on your own growth. You're telling her that she's not just a pretty face, she's someone who makes you want to be better. And in the world of Stoicism, this aligns perfectly with the concept of self-mastery. The Stoics believe that we should surround ourselves with people who can just to rise, to become our best selves and to live intentionally. So, when you compliment her on her energy, you're not just acknowledging her vibrance. You're honoring her ability to help others become the best versions of themselves, too. Compliment 6. You're honestly one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met. You really care about others, and it shows. In a world that often values self-interest over selflessness, being truly thoughtful is a rare and powerful trait. You know, that type. The people who are too busy with their own needs and desires to notice when someone else needs help, a kind word, or just a little bit of attention. But then there are those who genuinely care. They go out of their way to make sure others feel valued, seen, and heard. And when you recognize that in a woman, you're tapping into a quality that speaks to depth, integrity, and empathy. When you tell a woman, "You're honestly one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met," you really care about others, and it shows. You're complimenting her character. You're recognizing her ability to think beyond herself, to notice the needs of others, to remember the little details and tote on them with genuine care. That's not something you hear every day, and most women don't get complimented for their character as much as they get complimented for their looks. The brutal truth is most people are too wrapped up in their own lives to even notice when someone else needs help. But when you recognize her thoughtfulness, you're showing her that you see the real value in who she is. Not just what she looks like, but who she truly is on the inside. This isn't just about paying lip service to her good deeds. It's about honoring her actions and recognizing the integrity it takes to consistently put others first, even when no one is looking. In the world of Stoicism, we talk about virtue, about living a life guided by wisdom, courage, and integrity. So, when you recognize her thoughtfulness, you're not just acknowledging something she does, you're honoring her virtue. And that's a compliment that resonates on a much deeper level. Compliment 7. I love how driven you are. Your sense of purpose is seriously inspiring. Let's talk about drive. The fire that pushes people to keep going no matter how hard life gets. You've seen it before. People who wake up every day with a sense of purpose. A mission fire relentlessly pursuing. It's not about instant gratification or the next quick fix. It's about building something real, something meaningful. And when you see that in a woman, you should acknowledge it because that's a trait that sets her apart from the crowd. When you say, I love how driven you are, your sense of purpose is seriously inspiring. You're recognizing her passion, her ambition, and the fact that she's not just going through the motions. She's out there building something real. She's out there making her dreams a reality. No matter the obstacles, that's a quality that should be celebrated because in today's world, far too many people are content with simply getting by. but someone who's driven. They're a force to be reckoned with. Think about it. Ambition isn't just about chasing money or status. It's about having the grit, the resilience, and the focus to keep moving forward when everything else seems to be falling apart. And when you tell her that you admire her drive, you're telling her that you see all the hard work, the sacrifices, and the late nights she's put in to get where she is. You're recognizing that relentless pursuit of her goals. From a Stoic perspective, this aligns perfectly with the idea of living intentionally. A Stoic doesn't settle for mediocrity or wait for life to happen to them. They create their own path and they pursue it with everything they've got. When you recognize a woman's drive, you're acknowledging that she's a woman who has control over her life, who is actively shaping her future, and that's something worth honoring. Compliment. Number 8. You have this incredible way of making people feel comfortable and truly valued. Let's talk about emotional intelligence. That rare, almost magical ability some people have to make others feel truly seen, heard, and understood. We live in a world full of people trying to outdo each other, proving their worth, or building facades to seem more important than they really are. But someone who has emotional intelligence, someone who can walk into a room and immediately make others feel comfortable, is someone who stands apart from the crowd. When you tell a woman you have this incredible way of making people feel comfortable and truly valued, you're recognizing her impact, not just her outward appearance, but the deep energy she brings into every interaction. This compliment isn't about physical beauty, it's about the way she makes others feel, the safe space she creates for others to be real without fear of judgment or insecurity. Let's get real for a second. How many people do you know who can genuinely make others feel seen? It's not as common as it should be. Most people are too consumed with their own insecurities to pay attention to the needs of others. But someone who has emotional intelligence knows how to read the room, adjust their energy, and create a space where others feel valued. They make everyone feel like they matter, like they are enough. In the world of Stoicism, this touches on the virtue of empathy. The Stoics believe that to truly connect with others, we must understand their humanity and foster respectful, meaningful relations. When you compliment her for making people feel valued, you're acknowledging her ability to bring people together, to create a sense of belonging, and to help others feel like they're truly seen. In a world that often prioritizes superficiality, this compliment goes deeper than anything she's likely heard before. And there you have it. 8 powerful compliments that go beyond surface-level flattery. These aren't just throwaway lines to impress a mean. These compliments are designed to make a real impact, to show her that you see her for who she truly is. Not just her looks, but the depth of her character, the energy she brings, and the mind she has. Here's the truth. In a world full of people trying to impress others with fake compliments and shallow gestures, these are the words that will make you stand out. They're not about trying too hard to win her approval. They're about acknowledging her true value in a way that most people will never do. When you use these compliments, you're not just trying to get her attention. You're building a connection based on respect, admiration, and real understanding. But before you go, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these compliments, would you actually use in a conversation? Or even better, type this in the comments. Words have power and know how to use them. This will help lock in what you've learned and boost engagement with the community. And if you found these compliments powerful, wait until you see the impact of Stoic words first thing in the morning. Click on the video popping up on your screen to learn about 7 good morning texts that no woman can ignore. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear these words. Until next time, keep your words intentional and your presence powerful.